G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in over on the right side of the map, it is the one and only Lee Nock. If you're not familiar with Lee Nock, well, you're probably not Korean or a fan of Lee Nock's. He's going to be playing the Delhi Sultanate for us today. This is on the brand new patch we are witnessing. Now, there hasn't been a lot of changes in the brand new patch. There has been a couple of updates to the way that walls work. That's going to be a big thing, but overall very minimal changes that have really happened. They've changed a couple of other things like the team game map size, that kind of stuff, but that's pretty much it. Nothing else really too fancy or too strange has been changed yet, and Lee not going to be going with just a very standard build here. We can see him already opening up with the wheelbarrow, already opening up with the lumber camp, just going to be doing his thing. And of course he is attacked by a Mongol Khan, which means on the other side of the map, playing as the Mongols, we have got our Mongol player. And what a beautiful base he's got. Holy shit. Okay, so why is this such a beautiful base? Well, you've got your wood line that is literally underneath your town center, and then you have your gold mine, which is literally underneath your town center, and then you've got your barracks, which is literally underneath your town center, and it's on the Uvu. There's a lot of literallys, there's a lot of Uvu and town center and whatnot. I apologize, but this is an impressive spawn. This is probably the best Mongol spawn I've ever seen. The only way this possibly could have been better is if like the berries were here, or like if the deer were down here. Obviously that's not going to happen. They're always going to be a little bit different. Maybe like if you got berries here. I don't think you can get like a triple back berries. That would be pretty insane, but yeah, not going to be the case. But yeah, it is. It's interesting to see how things have changed, at least for some of the gameplay. So this isn't the first game that we've casted on this new patch. First game was actually a Viper game. You guys would have seen it was the video that was uploaded earlier. We got to see stone walls in action. Obviously, stone walls got changed quite a bit. So one of the things that changed with stone walls is that you can now actually you can now target the stone walls when they're under construction. Obviously, once they're completed, then it is. What? What? Hold on a minute. You guys are missing some friends. Okay. All right. Okay. They have... I'm trying to think, what are the balance implications for this? This is a ranked match. This is ranked Altai right now. This wasn't in the patch notes, was it? I don't want to seem like a dickhead, but I don't remember this being in the patch notes. Look at these two deer. These two deer. Oh, jeez. Hey, oh, we gotta censor that. But hey, this is YouTube. Watch out. Oh, jeez. Tower rush coming in on the front side. Oh, what are the balance implications for this? I don't remember seeing this at all in the patch. So it looks like players have got one deer spawn that has a perfect shape for a town center. They're literally asking for a town center to be placed in between them. This one, I mean, you can kind of see the outline of it as well. Oh my god, you can actually see like there's an outline for a town center to go in there. Outpost not going to be getting up. We'll focus on this a little bit, but you can see spears are going to be here now, so that outpost is going to be getting up. Gold is denied. Lee Nock is up to the next age, though, but it's going to be a while before he's able to get gold. He's probably going to have to revert to the rear gold mine, but obviously in the rear with the gear, it's going to be a very quick travel up to there. And now, Lee Nock going to be under a lot of pressure because he's going to be losing this house as well as the mining camp if he doesn't react swiftly to this. And we can see he's quite heavy on the wood, which is exactly where he needs to be. But we have seen a reaction to this. Normally what we would see is a stable and an archery range. And we would see scouts, and you would actually see professional scouts come out as the first tech for the Delhi player. And I guess that's the question. Is this a buff to professional scouts in a way? Because I guarantee you what you're going to be seeing now is you're going to see people going professional scouts, but you're going to see them only going 3 scouts. Because they will go and they will just take the 3 scouts of their enemy, or the 3 deer of their enemy, bring it back to base. They will come out over here. Sure, they might take 1, 2, 3 away from this, but it's just going to be so much easier to do. You just, you know, it's going to be very, very simple to do like that with 3. And like, okay, you got a big group of 7 here. One trip, 2 trips, you're done. And then there's 1 more deer out there. Don't worry, you'll get him eventually. You're not fussed about it. But now we can see more outposts trying to get put up around the backside of the base. Looks like the villager as well as the spearmen are getting overwhelmed completely completely mauled. Leenock going in for the kill. That single villager remaining with 10 health and a couple spears going to be looking to come in and do a bit of stabbing. Indeed, they are going to get some stabbing, and the Pokey Boys are going to be scoring a little bit of a... You see that flip? That's a cool trick. Do flips. But now it looks like we've got the age up going to be coming through. Mining camp did go down. House going to be under pressure now. It will be going down shortly, unless those archers can get out stat. But villager does go down. That's going to shut down the offensive on this south side, or rather on this north side of the base. But when we look on the south side of the base, obviously Spears still going out ham. He looks like he's going to bring the villager out to the villager. I sounded New Zealander then. He's going to bring out the villager to the fish and chip shop. Villager going to be looking to repair that house. You can see it's actually going to be keeping it alive, so it is achieving something. It is going down though. Second villager going to be pulled out now. Got to be careful with how I say it. Second villager is going to keep that house alive, but this is one of those situations where it's like you're healing up so much. Like look at the amount of wood that you've just spent on healing. Was it actually worth it? Because you're going to heal that thing all the way back up to full. It takes a lot of wood to get this bad boy back up. And now those spears, they're going to be able to rock it back over. But we'll check in with Leenock. We'll see how he's doing. It doesn't look like he's going to be going for professional scouts here. May not have picked up that there was a change to these deer, because I tell you what, he's not the only one who didn't pick it up. I didn't realize that they made this change. So how does it change things? Well, I guess one of the big things is... typically on this map, I would play Chinese very often on this map, and I would get one hunt here, and my other hunt is like right over here. But now only half of the hunt is here, which isn't a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. By the same token, because it guarantees that you've at least got a little bit more hunt over on your other side. So I think this is interesting, because one of the... I actually like this change a lot. One of the big changes that we saw recently, you guys saw this, was that hunting got changed. They made it stronger. At least they tried to make it stronger. That archer did go down to the combination fire of the outpost with the Khan. But they changed the way that hunting worked, and hunting was very strong. And so maybe they're looking at testing, maybe it's specifically for Altai, maybe they're looking at testing on you know, just a number of maps, at going and just dabbling with this, you know, 3 deer spawn instead of going with the full 7, because it was very, like, what you would see people do is, sure, they would move out onto the map, they would take the hunts, and they would just drop an outpost there, and now, you know, it was unraidable. And now it's going to be like, okay, well, you're going to be able to take this hunt, you can drop an outpost on it. It's probably better to use this one as an example, because it doesn't have berries. So let's say you drop an outpost, you drop your mill, and then you've now got to drop a second outpost and a second mill out here as well. So it's a bit more resources for you to do it, but I gotta say, I do like the fact that that we've had a little bit of a mix-up here. Three deer just all hanging out, and interestingly, the deer both spawn on berry patches. In fact, the large berry patches. I wonder if that's hard-coded. That could be interesting, because then that makes it very easy, very effective. You just put 1 mill right here, and congratulations, you've got an extra 1,000 food for your big berry patches. So that's not terrible. But now we see the blacksmith going to be finally coming up for Leenock. A very late blacksmith. Obviously, he's been dealing with a fair bit of pressure at the front of his base. Unfortunately, not all of the deer are going to be on the right side here. You can see he's placed the Dome of the Faith where he should have placed a TC. At least that's what the game was telling him. We'll take a look back over on this side. You can see there's still a deer standing in the middle here, so maybe it's not hard-coded to just sit on the edges of where a TC would be placed. I say that, and it moves to the edge of the TC right now. But let's have a look at our Mongol player's base. You can see he's starting to think about going up to castle. Only 2 villagers working away on that gold mine. He's actually quite heavily investing in a feudal age play. So just going to be looking to deny sacred sites. We see outposts going up on the first one, scout sitting down on the second one, and up towards the north on the third sacred site. That's not a sacred site, that's a relic. That's our sacred site right there. Still nothing yet, but now we do see a spear beginning to move out towards that direction. And so Leenock definitely stuck in a bit of a hard spot here. The second blacksmith coming in now. These blacksmiths are quite late, but this is the kind of response that you would expect. And normally what would happen after here is that you would see scouts actually designed to bust this down. So scouts and archers, and you'd go up to 7 scouts with it, and then you'd use professional scouts from there to actually look to try and take control of the deer. We can see the deer are out on the map, and they are definitely available to be taken, but now Scholar going to get picked up. Leenock going to be losing a little bit of a faith healer over here. Unfortunately, Scholar going to be going down. He does have that piety, but even with that, it's just not enough. And now we can see that our Mongol player is actually sitting down camping on top of these sacred sites, and more outposts going to be coming up. Do we have arrow slits coming in? Indeed, we do have arrow slits coming in. So he's going to be A-okay, and we can see now he's starting to think a little bit more about Castle Age 5 villagers now on gold. So the transition is in. So if you're a Mongol player and you're watching this and you're not too sure how to play up against Delhi, I think that our Mongol player today has done a pretty decent job so far with his opening. Just, you know, a nice little tower rush. Always nice to force your enemy into a different game plan. So that's one of the great things about the Mongols is people have to change their game plan when they're playing against them because they don't know if the tower rush is coming. And if the tower rush comes, then, oh, okay, I have to deal with the tower rush. I can't do that thing that I wanted to do. So it starts to get different. But now Scout going to be coming out for Leenock. He's looking to see what his enemy's up to. He'll spot 5 villagers on gold. He'll spot 3,400 in there. He'll say, ooh, that guy might be going up to castle. What do I do against that? Now Leenock going to be completely overwhelmed on this position. He's got a fair amount of archers, but just look at the horseman numbers coming out for his enemy. The Mongol player looking very strong. And we're going to see the movement speed arrow going to get thrown out here. Spear's going to be moving up with a lot of speed. It said 1.25, but I don't buy it for a second. It must have been after the arrowhead had broken through. But now we see our Mongol player just going to be falling back from this position. He realizes that there's villages up towards the north, and indeed, he spots a great little mill location right there. He's going to have access to all 3 of those deer as well as the berries, but now village is going to have to be forced back. You can see 4 of them trying to make their way back. One of them is going to be going down. I think, was there a second one that may have gone down? I can't imagine a man bringing 4 villagers out to berries and a deer spawn. Surely it had to be 5. But second villager is going to be going down as well. And we'll check back in now with Leenock's opponent, our Mongol player, and see exactly where he's up to, because he is very close to castle. Next arrow slit's going to be coming up towards this sacred site. Do we see? No, we do not see an outpost coming down towards the south. He's stacking up 600 wood, though. He is definitely floating right now like a beautiful pair of basketballs in the water. That was a close call. That was a close call. But now in Leenock's base, he's got the scholars out, so he could be looking to do a bit of a push here. Leenock actually going to be losing his scouts to those outposts. And he's definitely stuck in his base. You can feel the pain right now. He's got sheep that are here. How much food does he have under this town center? 7 and 3. So he's still got about 2,500 food sitting underneath this town center. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. That's like when you're considering 8 berry patches with 350 in each of them. You're talking about what? 8 times 3 is 240. So yeah, 2,400. So you're looking at about the same amount of food. Very, very similar number of food. Maybe a little bit more in those berry patches, and obviously a lot more with the deer there as well. But let's not talk too much about the deer. You know, let's forget about those deer. You guys wait until you see the thumbnail. The thumbnail is totally about the deer. Like, what the hell is this deer? What did they do to the deer? That's going to be the thumbnail. Leenock now trying to push out, trying to gain footing out towards the front. Now, keep in mind, not going to have access to that herbal medicine, but is still going to be looking to bring out the scholars. And now we see the castle age reached for our opponent, our Mongol opponent. And now Leenock definitely going to be looking to push through and try and do some damage. He could be going to castle himself behind this, but one thing to note, he doesn't have any of the sacred sites. It's going to be a big factor for him. Large military mass, though. 38 villages, 36 military. Compare that to his opponent, who's on 41 and 14. So what are we going to be seeing back from him? We'll take a look. Actually, I've just missed the base by a mile. I would have expected double stables to come out, but it's only single stable, double archery range. And these guys aren't on the Uvu, so I feel like it could be a bit of a mistake. He does have the barracks on the Uvu, so probably just going to be looking to go Lancers, men-at-arms, and then mixing in those archers. No veteran archers coming out just yet, though. But ideally, he shouldn't be looking to fight this. This is not a favorable fight. I'm not sure what he's thinking, what his intentions are. He needs to wait a little bit longer. He can't be taking these fights. This is not an advantageous fight for him. There's a lot of units here for Leenock. He's got to be so careful. Leenock now going to be looking to pressure, and you can see a lot more units coming out for him. Upgrades almost coming through for Leenock as well. 20 seconds to go before Iron Undermesh gets through and gives him that extra ranged armor, and now it looks like Leenock's opponent just going to be chilling out in the base. He's got plenty of pastures here, providing up that delicious food. And you got to say, like, what an absolutely beautiful base right here for Leenock's opponent. Just all the resources just immaculately placed. But now you can almost see he's actually running out of food, so might be short on a few pastures. He's going to be trying to get more units out, but obviously he threw away 2 men-at-arms, he threw away a lancer, threw away a whole bunch of archers. Think about how useful that would be right now. Now that sacred site going to get captured up down towards the south. Leenock, is he going to be heading down there with his units? We'll take a look at Leenock. It looks like he might be doing a little bit of an age up. He's managing to wall up towards the north as well. And look at the raid timing coming through against Leenock. Absolutely terrible stuff for Leenock right now. He's going to be losing villages out the wazoo up here. They do indeed indeed come away. And look at that. He doesn't even have his textile upgrade yet. That's a feels bad moment right there. It's free. It is literally free for the Delhi Sultanate, and you do not have it. Now, villagers going to be turning around, and they're going to be fighting back against the horsemen. Actually doing a pretty decent job. Look how low those villagers are. I think we saw 2 villagers go down there, 1 horseman. I reckon they could take him. If they had their textiles, I'll tell you what, they would be able to take them 100%. And now, Leenock going to be looking to transition into some barracks, so that is going to be the age up coming through. Where is that market? He doesn't even have a market yet. Doesn't need a market. His macro is that good. Didn't capture that sacred site towards the south. He is on one single sacred site in the middle of the map. Sacred site up towards... Is that an Uvu? In what world do you think you're putting down that Uvu, my Mongolian friend? That is not a safe Uvu position. That is a very optimistic Uvu position. All right, it looks like he decides that that's probably not the best spot. Probably going to be better off down... Where was it? Down here. Yeah, there's a nice little spot over here. That's going to be hard to get to. I mean, your other alternative is up on this side, but that's going to be even harder to justify. But we'll have to see how he looks to play it because, yeah, it's you can see he's only got about 38 left on it, but now going to be pushing out. Veteran Archer mass is starting to build up here as well, and Leenock going to be falling back, but Leenock got quite a decent military mass, and now another raid coming in up the north. And good game gets called. Leenock just taps out. He says, I can't deal with it. I can't deal with the pressure. I can't deal with the constant raids. And good game gets called. Leenock taps out, fellas. If you've enjoyed this game, make sure you check out Golden League. It's happening this weekend. And what the hell happened to the Deers?